I have done a lot of small math group interventions this school year, and some resources that were presented to us to use for these was one of them being Origo. Now, I'm sure a lot of teachers have heard about Origo, but to see it in action is different. One of these strategies in Origo is the build up or build down strategies. We use the build up strategy a lot for sixes, and I had a lot of students experiencing success and more comfort and confidence with sixes because of the build up strategy. So for instance, my students have a table that looks very similar to this, and we start with 5. So I start at 5 times 2, which of course will give me 10. Now, to build up to that, I go to 6 times 2, which will give me 12. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail yet because there's not much to work with, but as we are going from left to right, we are simply adding on the number that changes. Now, the number that changes becomes more evident because I'm going to go to 5 times 3 equals 15, and 6 times 3 equals 18. Now again, the 5s and 6s do not change. However, my 3 does, and again, that is what I am adding on as I move from left to right. The number you are changing is what you add on from left to right. So I move into my next one. 5 times 4 equals 20, and 6 times 4 equals 24. So again, my number that changes is the number I build up to left to right and going from 5s to 6s. Now I'm going to do one last row and point out a few more patterns that I showed to my students. 5 times 5 will give me 25, as well as 6 times 5 giving me 30. Now a few different patterns are now evident because we have more to work with. Again, we continue to see my build up is simply the number that changes. You are adding that on as you go from left to right. Now we're adding by 5s down the left side, of course, because we're counting by 5s, and down the right side we're counting by 6s because again we're counting by 6s, so we're adding a 6 each time. So a few different patterns that students can see. Obviously this is only half of it, as we would continue 6s through 10s below. But that is an example of the build up strategy that my students have found a lot of success in using the Origo math resource.